Vanilla tells him that you can handle the dull parts of the relationship. Vanilla tells him you'll laugh at his jokes even when they're not funny. Chocolate says, you better get a prenup. Hi guys, welcome back to Beat Babe Beauty. You got your eye on that little tenderoni, but you know you're not on his level? Are you trying to get on his level? Are you trying to be someone that they can take home to mama? Are you ready for him to make that investment? Well, I'm going to show you how to look like $1,000,000. We're playing with animal print today. If you're ready to step up your game, keep watching. Okay, so you met the man of your dreams and you want to date with him, but he's pretty high profile. You don't think you're gonna fit in? We can make this happen. Nothing says luxury like animal print. Today we're going in with our P. Louise base. This time we're gonna use number 5 because it's closest to my natural shade, and we're gonna keep this kind of smoky. When looking for a man, we all have our reasons and things that we're looking for. Some people like a man because he's compassionate. Some people like a man because he's funny. Some people like a man because he's fun. And some people like a man because he got those stats. You don't ever have to feel like you're out of your league. Because if you can get him to notice you, game on. I'm going to take a nice fluffy brush and go into the Flip It and Reverse It palette and use the shade Vulture. We're just going to lightly sweep this up top, just to give us a little bit more dimension. Now with the darker base, these colors are a little bit more subtle. We don't want them super vibrant because we're going for a real nice animalistic look. Next I'm moving into the And the Winner Is palette. We're going to use the shade Tina. So based off of looks alone, he's agreed to a date because he knows you can bring it. But what do you bring? So it's date night and you don't know what to wear. Dig in your closet and find that special occasion black dress. Not the one you wore to your uncle's funeral, but that one that stops traffic. Going back into the Flip It and Reverse It, back into the Vulture, we're going to use that to blend the two shades together. Okay, so you've been a little heavy on the snacks. Grab your girdle. Grab your nicest pair of heels and your bougiest blonde wig. And make sure you accessorize. Get all your fancy Claire's jewelry, put it on. Going back in with our P. Louise base number 5, we're going to cut our crease, but we're going to kind of do it in a crescent moon type shape. He's coming to pick you up at 7, so you make sure your bad kids are over at Jill's house. She owes you. She's already married and disgruntled. It's your turn. Make sure you sweep, mop, and vacuum. Depending on the age of your kids, you might just want to tell him to wait downstairs. If you live in a terrible neighborhood, you rent a car and you meet him at the restaurant. Going back into the And the Winner Is palette, we're going to use the shade Adele for the bottom half of our lid. Be sure to let him pick the restaurant, because you don't take a rich man to Golden Corral. I love me their biscuits too with the honey butter, but no. Think about where you'd want to go if you had some money. If I was a rich girl, la 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 la. And it's not Red Lobster. Going back into the same palette, we're going to use the shade Barbara. We're going to just sweep it along the base to give it a little bit of a shimmer. Let's test out your art skills. We're going to use our Bring in the Funk liner in black and a nice little pointed tip to do our animal print across the top of the eye. So starting on the edge right here, we're just gonna do like some wiggly circles. Not perfect, kind of jagged. We're gonna do this all along the top half of the eye. You just want to make it all various shapes and sizes of little squiggly circles. Now, of course, when you sit down, he's gonna have some questions. He's gonna ask you about your employment. Please don't tell him you work at Burger Weenie and you've been there for 10 years and have only gotten a 50-cent raise. You tell him you're a therapist. To the stars. Next, we're going back into the same palette. We're getting a lot of work out of here today. And we're going to use the shade Celine. He doesn't know you well enough to know if that's accurate or if that's just a blatant lie. But before he figures it out, you just tell him you got fired. You're just keeping this glitter located towards the front of the eye look. You have ambitions and you have goals. No matter what, we're gonna get you there. So I wanna be a billionaire so freaking bad. We're gonna go into the palette and we're gonna use the shade Tina and we're gonna smudge it right just above our eye. What do you order? Well, since he's paying, we're just gonna drag this out a little bit. Give yourself a wing. I recommend the fish, not catfish, salmon. He's got to know you have good taste. So you tell him you watch Dateline. You tell him you drink sparkling water. You tell him you read actual books and not audiobooks. You tell him you wear an analog watch, not digital. This is all important information. Because what you don't want to look like is a material girl. Cause we are living in a material world, and I am a material girl. Let's move on to face. Today we're using the Hard Candy Hydrating Primer. I have come to like the finish I get from this primer. I'm not crazy about how it smells, but I feel like it gives me a really good tacky base. It makes me slick. You want to appear to be on his level. Get yourself a gold card. Does it have to be an actual gold card? No. We're moving in with our Indie Beat Boombastic Foundation in shade 13. It just has to be a card that you spray paint gold. You'll never have to purchase anything. He's paying. It's all about perception. If he asks you what kind of music you listen to, you say Bach. You say Mozart. You say Van Gogh. If he asks you what your favorite cereal is, you say Raisin Bran, not French Toast Crunch. If he asks you what kind of sports do you watch, you say golf and lacrosse. Unless you want him staring at you, you be sure to blend that neckline, because necklines cause inflation in gas prices. Necklines cause dough not to rise. Necklines cause rush hour too. We're going to conceal with the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. And even though you may not have Louis Vuittons, you are not allowed to carry these bags under your eyes. When he asks you about your hobbies, you say you go to homeless shelters. You tell him about that kid in Ethiopia that you sponsor. You tell him you're very much into world politics. We are the world. We are the children. You tell him that 30% of your check goes to an endangered species. You tell him you just got back from a missions retreat. When he asks you about your favorite movie, you tell him it's The Notebook, not Friday. And in the middle of the day, you have Jill call you to talk to you about discussing that orphanage that you guys are building. So everything's going great, and it's time for dessert. Can you have dessert? You sure can. Because chances are you sat through that whole meal and you listened to him talk about stock markets and politics. You deserve it. And though the obvious choice would be chocolate because it's so rich and satisfying, you get vanilla. Wait, hear me out. Vanilla says you appreciate sophistication. Next we're going in with our e.l.f. 16-hour Camo Concealer and Rich Cocoa so we can drop a couple pounds. If you eat frosting on a spoon, drop a couple pounds, drop a couple pounds, drop a couple pounds. And raw cookie dough too, drop a couple pounds, drop a couple pounds, drop a couple pounds. Vanilla tells him that you can handle the dull parts of the relationship. Vanilla tells him you'll laugh at his jokes even when they're not funny. Just keep chinning and chinning and chinning. Vanilla says that when he takes you to those boring meetings, you will just sit in the corner and play Candy Crush and not have any kind of commentary. Vanilla says that when his boss Georgina has something nice to say about his tie, you say, "Thanks, I picked it up." Chocolate says, "You better get a prenup. Rich people have plastic surgeons, so you make sure you snatch that nose." Your ultimate goal here is to get a ring, so you need to make sure you at least get a second date. How do we do that? Bronzer. We're just gonna sweep that down the nose, catch those chins. And of course, we all know how important highlighter is. So we're going with our Ofra Glow Goals highlighter. Today we get to wear all the highlighter. Because highlighter will get you a 4-bedroom house. Highlighter will get you put in the wheel. Highlighter will get you a 14-karat wedding ring. Highlighter will get you a mother-in-law suite. And because we want to be extra glowy, we're going to go with our Gerard Cosmetics Slay All Day Spray in Cucumber. And then we're going to highlight again. Blush is a must. Keep it clean, keep it classy, keep it Ofra. Let's head back up to the eyes, and we're going to use the shade Tina just to go underneath our eye and give us a little bit more dimension. Let's be lavish, so we're going to use the Wink For Me lashes in the style Serene. Tell me this ain't fancy. Let me tell you, I expected these lashes to be extremely heavy, but they are very lightweight. Perfect. And then I'm going to take the Kat Von D liner and just kind of run it along the inside of the line to match up with the lash. And if you want to look like $1,000,000, you've got to have big plump lips. So we're going to overline them. Now, usually I'm an expert in pretty much everything, but I don't do this very often, so let's see what we come up with. I'm just drawing it slightly over my lip line. Nothing too crazy. And for lipstick, we're going in with two of my favorite Gerard Cosmetics. This one is Ruby Slipper and a Hydro Matte, and this one is the Dreamweaver, a Metal Matte. This is such a good color. It's almost like a combination of a brown and a berry. It's really, really rich, and I'm loving it. Now, so that he knows that you are worth every dime he spends on you, you put this in the middle. Want to give your lips an extra pucker? Take just a tiny bit of your concealer and take it right into the corner of the mouth. You kind of give the effect that your lip is starting further in than it actually is. Don't worry, we'll blend it out with our foundation. You blend that out, and now we're going to go on top of it with our foundation. Make sure you get a good shade match. Then take a little bit of your powder and buff it up. Look at that lip. Y'all know what it's time for. It's time to snatch that wig. And here's the final look. You guys, I feel really cute. I feel really royal, really rich. So you make sure you get done up for you. And if he doesn't appreciate who you are, he ain't worth it. So I got all done up for you today. And since I did that, you need to subscribe, because I would love to make you some more content. So go ahead, I'll wait.